Worms is classified M. It contains some coarse language, sexual references and adult themes. Channel 10 recommends viewing by mature audiences. We also warn you that some viewers may be offended by the opinions in this show. But that's half the fun, isn't it? Can of worms tonight. Should you ever tell your child that violence is the answer? Plus, we're talking age gaps in relationships, each to their own or a little bit dodgy. On top of that, Danielik finds out what it takes to woo the older lady.
Ooh, you make me hot.
Why don't we meet our guests? He's been the top dog in some of the country's most acclaimed restaurants, and he's, of course, one of the big stars of MasterChef. Give a warm hand to Gary Mehigan. Thank you. Thank you. In the middle, a Kiwi model who's been strutting the international catwalks for over a dozen years. Please welcome Nikki Phillips. And our third guest is a stand-up comic who's performed all across the globe. You know him from the 7 p.m. project. It's Charlie Pickering. And finally, my joyous co-host, who shall be bringing us all of our Roy Morgan national polls, Meshel, Laurie.
It's been a very big week for social networking, Dicko. It's been madness around here. 6 months ago, of course, Egyptian youth used Twitter and Facebook to overthrow a brutal and corrupt regime. This week, British youth used them to create one. If you just want to use them to chat, come and join us. That's all we're doing. We're just chatting. Use the hashtags on the screen. We are Can of Worms TV on Facebook and Twitter, and our website is canofworms.com.au.
Let's get into our first worm of the night. Now, earlier this year, a YouTube clip filmed on a mobile phone became a worldwide viral hit. Entitled Casey the Punisher, showed a small kid taunting a big kid until the big kid finally snapped.
Keep recording, look at that, who's that in the background?
This playground incident dominated our media for over a week, but what if that was your kid that retaliated? Would that make you proud or disappointed? If your child was being physically bullied, do you tell them to hit back? Yes or no? You got 5 seconds. Charlie says no, Nikki says no, Gary says yes. So, Charlie, I read somewhere that you'd been bullied. What's the worst thing that happened to you?
I was physically roughed up by kids that were bigger than me, which was pretty much everyone. And probably the worst was more the verbal bullying, just the taunts and the comments around the classroom and around the playground. I'm actually a little bit glad for the bullying that I got because I think it made me stronger. I think it made me more proud of who I was and made me more confident to go, do you know what? These guys didn't beat me, I won.
Gary, I want to ask you about, you've spent most of your working life in kitchens. Yeah. Now, have you seen a lot of bullying in the kitchen?
When I started work at 17 years old, a kitchen was like a building site. There was no negotiation, you did what you were told. It was yes, yes, chef, and there was a lot of bullying. I saw a lot of fights in the kitchen, and completely unnecessary.
Nikki, have you ever had to stand up to a bully?
I was bullied very badly when I was at school, like verbal as well as baseball bats, as well as craft knives to my wrist. And it happened until I actually left school 2 years before I was meant to.
For what reason were you bullied?
Because I was modelling. I was at an all-girls school, so I was in their magazines that they were reading, and in their mind it should have been them, and it was just very young and bitter. And it was horrible. But I never hit back, I never talked back, and I think I've Also have a bigger backbone because of it now and can rise above it, and it taught me a lot. And it's funny, I don't regret it at all because I think it's made me a very strong person nowadays.
Why did you not talk back? Why did you not hit back? Because you're a tall girl.
I guess you're frightened. You don't want it to continue. You're almost just walking away so it will end. But also bullying versus bullying, where's that going to get you? What's that going to achieve?
But it's not bullying. I mean, I know with my daughter, what's interesting, it's the, you know, she's 10 now, so she's got to that, as girls do. Everything becomes very complicated, very complex. I think it's the mental, it's the verbal that's much more destructive.
Yeah, but we're all about psychological warfare, aren't we?
Yeah, when a girl comes up with you a craft knife and slits you on the wrist and says now they're going to think that you tried to commit suicide, that's sometimes a little harder than verbal.
Is that what happened?
Yeah. In the classroom, came up and sliced me on the hand and said, now they're going to think that you tried to commit suicide.
That's actually assault.
Yeah, no, and then I went to the school counsellor who told me I was very unusual looking and then I needed to come to terms with that other girls were a lot prettier than me.
That was helpful.
Oh, yeah, completely helpful.
Talking about kids hitting back. Now, Gary, you've said you should. Most experts warn against that.
And my wife and I disagree about this. You know, it's that I think you have to pursue every sensible avenue that you could possibly think of to resolve the problem. But I think at the very end, that bullies will always bully. They will always pick on someone that refuses to fight back, that refuses in any way to stand up for themselves.
So have you had this conversation with your daughter and said that if push comes to shove, literally, to hit back?
Stand firm. Now, whether it's hit back or shout. Often you can stop an attack by just shouting, "Stop!" You know, and boom, shock. What? That you're prepared to do something. And
what about what Gary's saying? Now, what's wrong with teaching your kid to stand up for themselves, Charlie?
To me, bullying at high school doesn't last forever. But the lessons that you teach a child do last forever.
Yeah.
And if you were to teach a child that violence is the answer to some situations, that's a lesson they'll take with them forever. Don't be surprised when it turns out they're a perpetrator of domestic violence 20 years down the track, because you taught them that sometimes it's okay to hit. I think you have a job that is to teach a child that you have to find a way to not use violence in the future.
So if your daughter is having her wrist slashed by somebody at school, what would you do?
I would actually go straight to the police at that point, because you've got a juvenile offender on your hands there that has to be dealt with by the law.
And what about
a situation like that takes it.
What about the bruise on the top of the arm, or the nail marks in the arm, or you know? Because
Charlie, you made a big leap there. You said that violence begets violence, and that if you teach a kid that violence is the answer, that some way down the line there could be, you know, a problem with domestic violence. But what about if I take you back to like toddlers? Now, my 4-year-old used to beat the crap out of my 2-year-old. And in the end, I had to say to the little one, you're going to have to hit her back and shove it. Now, it makes me sound like a terrible parent, but it stopped it.
Yeah.
It stopped it.
I've got dogs. And quite often you do have to just let them sort them out yourselves. I would say leave your kids in the back garden with a nice juicy bone and see who gets it. But I've never raised a toddler, I don't know. But from my experience of experiencing violence as a child, nothing about violence solved a problem to me.
Exactly.
Do you think, Nikki, if you'd have stood up for yourself, things would have been different in your bullying case?
I mean, maybe, but I can't answer that question. But all I know is that these people these days who did bully me are trying to contact me now. They're fools. Like, I look at them now and I feel sorry for them, because they've turned out to be nothing, because they literally spent half their life bullying other people.
Well, what would you say to parents who are watching tonight whose kids are going through what you went through? What would you say?
To make sure that they are talking to their parents and to make sure the parents are talking to their children and they are seeking help and they are talking to other parents to find out their situations and see if their kids are doing it. Bullying is very lonely. When you are actually the one being bullied, it's mentally, it's very, very hard. And that's why to bully back to the person that's bullying you, I don't think is right, because I don't think you gain anything out of it.
I've got to tell you, when I first saw that video, as someone who was physically bullied, I watched it, and my first reaction in my head, I actually was like, yeah, like that. But then I thought, hang on, no, that's not right. Like, it was just, I like the fact that the bullied person won. But then the moment it was done, I thought, no one won. Yeah. No one won that situation. Where were the adults? Where were the grown-ups who are meant to Just pull them apart and go, all right, it's time
But
to
they're
talk.
not always there, and we all went through school, and we all know those kids.
Yeah.
You know, we all know them.
OK, just hold those thoughts. Up next, what on earth is Dan Ilick doing on the streets with 2 shop dummies? This is Can of Worms.
This news update brought to you by New AMP, Australia's favourite for advice, super and personal insurance.
Good evening, I'm Sandra Sully, updating 10 News. A man has faced court charged with the murder of schoolboy Daniel Morecambe. Armed police arrest the alleged kingpin of an international card skimming racket. And the common spice offering hope to Alzheimer's sufferers. All the details tonight in 10's Late News.
In sport tonight, the Sharks against the Bulldogs and Will Powers pit lane dummy spit.
The statistics will shock you. What every parent needs to look for to protect their children. With Hamish at the desk, 6:30.
This program brought to you by Hungry Jacks. Introducing Jacks Packs, our new meals to share.
You're back with Can of Worms as we try to work out the best way to deal with a bully. Luckily, our very own Dr. Phil, Dan Ilick, is here to help.
Bullying is a fact of life for people growing up, and it can turn into a vicious cycle where the bullied becomes the bully. So, with the help of my 2 friends, Fran and Freddie, I hope to bring some closure by allowing people to bully the bully. Were you ever bullied in school?
Yes, I was. Ritualistically, actually.
Heaps.
You were bullied heaps?
Heaps and heaps.
I remember on the Oval one time I had to eat grass.
My house always got egged.
In between pushings, I might get kicked and punched. I remember the wedgie was, I got wedgied a fair bit. Punched me in the knee, so I fell on the ground. And then he thought it would be a funny idea to throw me out the window.
Well, over here, I want to introduce you to the bully from school.
Oh my God.
Here she is. What would you like to make him do?
Maybe lick my shoes.
Lick his shoes. What would you like to do to this bully?
First.
Whoa!
Paloma, take that.
What about giving him a big wedgie?
Yeah, take that.
Yeah. Punch her like this?
Yeah! Oh, yeah! How's it feeling?
Very good.
And how do you feel?
Awesome. Oh no, it's payback.
Feel like you've got it out of your system?
Not completely.
What else do you need to do to get out of your system?
Fuck yeah!
More of the boy Ilick later on in the show. But let's continue to hook into our worm. If your kid is being physically bullied, do you tell them to hit back? Charlie and Nikki say no. Gary says yes. Well, what about cyberbullying? Because obviously there's a load of cyberbullying around, but you can't retaliate. It's not face-to-face, Charlie.
You can. You have the most powerful retaliation there is. Log off. Log off. Seriously. Like, and I know it sounds really simple, and there'll be high school kids watching that think, no, but if I'm not online, I don't exist. I'm not part. Do you know what? That actually doesn't exist.
Yeah.
You can actually turn it off at any time.
Yeah.
If you're feeling bullied there, turn it off. Walk away.
It's funny, isn't it? When you find out that somebody doesn't like you, we are so ill-equipped to deal with it, when in fact, a lot of people out there don't like you.
Just ask yourself, do you like everyone? No, you don't.
It's actually quite an interesting thing, and actually an interesting thing to try and teach your children, that actually most people probably don't like you. Or a lot of...
By the way, I wouldn't lead with that. I wouldn't go like... I wouldn't like...
Probably not a good idea.
Tucking a 4-year-old into bed going, and by the way...
Most people don't like you.
Not everyone.
That probably came out wrong.
Let me move you on to this hypothetical. You get a call from the school to attend a meeting with the principal because your child has been involved in a bullying incident. Would you be more upset to learn your child was being bullied or was the bully?
The bully.
Gary.
The bully.
Yeah.
Why?
Because that's not how we're bringing her up. You have to teach empathy. You have to teach respect. I mean, it's there. It's a latent emotion. But you have to teach it.
Which would upset you more?
Oh,
Charlie?
definitely if my child was the bully. But because one of the most important things I would ever teach my children is it's the job of the strong to look after the weak.
Yeah.
It's not the job of the strong to exploit the weak and pick on the weak. That's not how the world should work.
Yeah. OK. Finally, Nikki.
Personal experience, I would be mortified if the principal rang up and said my kid was the bully. Absolutely mortified, just because as being through it, it's just disgusting that, you know, one of my own is doing which was something that I struggled with for a long time. So that would just kill me.
Well, thank you all for being so open. I really want to get to the audience now. Where's Paul?
Hi. Yeah, so all through school, yeah, I was physically, like, bullied, so I was attacked on a daily basis. I got kind of taken around the back of the school and thrown on the floor and kicked in the bottom of my spine. I couldn't walk for a few days afterwards. It was not fun. I didn't really have the tools to fight back. I was short in school as well as fat and wearing glasses, easy target. And now, because of the experiences I've had, it leads on to having a different view of the world. You can't really develop actual, like, relationships, friendships with people because you're not confident enough to speak to people, to, you know, just be outgoing and things like that.
Paul, thank you for that. It's an appalling story, really, but thank you so much for sharing that. Well, where's Dean?
I was diagnosed with Asperger's at age 12. I was bullied all through primary school, all through high school, until I left. I think it speaks volume of a child/teenager if they don't fight back physically, because it shows that they're stronger than that. I think that the people that fight back are weak because they have no other way to deal with what happened.
How did you deal with being bullied?
I did fight back, but I realised that it got me nowhere, and it was going to get me nowhere, so I gave up.
Something I just noticed, right, is you were bullied, I was bullied, you were bullied, you were bullied. Everyone gets bullied. All bullies are looking for is a way that you're different. Yeah. And they're going to just pick on you for your difference. And do you know what? We're all different. Everyone's different. Yeah, like, I remember, this is the dumbest reason for getting bullied. In Year 8, I was bullied because I was a skinner. Now, a skinner was a kid who didn't have pubic hair yet. Right? And,
Skinner?
And you were a skinner, right? Now,
now you'd be the cool kid.
Yeah, it turns out I wasn't a skinner, I was a metrosexual ahead of my time.
Women pay so much money to be skinners.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's get to the polls right now, Meshel.
Oh, Dicko, Jesus famously said turn the other cheek, of course, but his dad was an eye for an eye guy. Which way does Australia swing? Here's what the Roy Morgan pollsters found out. If your kid is being physically bullied, do you tell them to hit back? Oh, peace out, dudes. 65% said no, with 32% just going, fight, fight, fight. Men are more likely than women to tell their kid to punch on, obviously, although over half the nation thinks the worst bullies are girls. Sadly, most of us have been on the end of it, 70% that is. A mixture of verbal, physical and, of course, now cyber. So what would upset parents more, if their child was the bully or their child was being bullied? Over half said the bully. So just don't do it, kids. For a lot of reasons, it makes your mum sad. And worst of all, you could end up on a current affair. Hey, we have on our website, canofworms.com.au, we have lots of links and phone numbers and things like that for you if you're being bullied. And obviously, adults, please listen when someone tells you that they're in trouble, and please have the courage, if your child is a bully, to deal with it.
Yeah. Coming up, we talk sex between the very young and the middle-aged. But next, get your boots on, guys. We're about to brave our moral minefield.
Yeah! That's what I'm talking about.
The little Greek in the G Street View.
My little fantasy, making a roast.
Cameron.
What?
Look at me.
I am.
What did you do?
I am home alone for a lot of hours.
Carmen Miranda.
Brand new Modern Family, 7:30 Tuesday on 10.
I see many people who suffer from digestive discomfort. They try to get on with their day, even when they're feeling bloated and sluggish. And that's why I recommend Ski Active Yogurt.
A unique blend of a prebiotic plus probiotics, including scientifically proven bifidus prodigesters, helps relieve digestive discomfort.
So don't just put up with it. Enjoy Ski Active every day and you'll feel more comfortable or your money back.
Ski Active. Get comfortable.
To me, the most inspiring thing is that a community of this size can build 2 turbines.
They're capable of providing enough electricity to run the whole township area.
People who weren't interested in renewable energy said that is fantastic.
Going down the street and hearing people talking about them because you can see them in the main street is awesome.
Australians are already working for a clean energy future, but a carbon price will help us do more. More than half the money raised will go to households. In fact, 9 in 10 households will receive tax cuts, increased payments, or both. And with the rest, we'll be supporting jobs and investing in our clean energy future. Find out what a carbon price really means for you at australia.gov.au/clean energy future. Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
What's power to me? Getting one up on my mate. Like a couple of days ago, I was just sitting down in the park and I get this text message from him and it says, "Your mum says hi." So then I saw the biggest dog in the park I could see, and I took a photo of it, uploaded it on Facebook and tagged his girlfriend. Yeah, she's not really talking to me at the moment. We don't get along anyway.
Connect your way with infinite calls, infinite text and infinite social networking. On Vodafone Infinite, power to you. Vodafone.
This is it. The turn of the chair. The moment my clients fall in love with their salon fresh colour. And to make it last, I recommend New Colour Revitalise from Tresemme, Australia's #1 hair care brand. Their advanced colour lock technology protects against fade out for up to 40 washes. For a look that shines, just as bright as they do. Get long-lasting, salon vibrant, chair-worthy hair without the salon price. Tresemme. Professional, affordable.
Some friendships.
No emotion, just sex.
When did they figure this out?
Oh, there it goes. Swear.
I love it. Catch you by surprise.
I don't like dirty talk.
My chin is ticklish. I sneeze sometimes after I...
Really? Already?
Hey kids, here we go. Why do women think the only way to get a man to do what they want is to manipulate him?
History, personal experience, romantic comedies. Shut up, Katherine Heigl, you stupid liar!
Friends with benefits.
Feeling weighed down, sluggish? Try Ski Active.
Its unique blend of a prebiotic plus probiotics helps relieve digestive discomfort.
Try it daily for 14 days and feel more comfortable. Or your money back.
Ski Active. Get comfortable.
This is not just a bushfire, it's a crime scene.
Motherload!
8:30 Tuesday. It's not what they find that's intriguing, it's how it got there. NCIS, Tuesday on 10. A bizarre murder has Goran looking for one very unusual suspect.
So how did it play out?
New Criminal Intent. Next.
You're watching Can of Worms, where it's time to play hopscotch in our moral minefield. Now, the rules to our moral minefield couldn't be simpler. All you got to do is pick a subject, answer the question honestly, and then we'll tell you if your answer is in tune with that of our recently polled studio audience. OK, Gary, you're up first.
Right.
What are you going to pick?
Body.
Body.
It's just avoiding the sex.
This one's from Erin James via our website. Gary, should G-strings be banned at public swimming pools and beaches?
No.
Pervert.
See, if I was 20, you would not shout out pervert. If I was 18.
Yeah, that's
What,
ageist, man.
You 20
That's
or
ageist,
just
yeah.
anyone 20? You 20, yes, pervert.
Especially with mouth open, drooling. Bad.
So, Nikki, do you like to see people getting around public places in G-strings?
No.
You don't like
Even if you've got the most amazing body, your ass, your butt cheeks and that little thing's meant to stay at home.
I admire anyone's confidence that can, and I say go for it. I seriously... Do you know what I find really funny about this question? It was the reaction of the audience. Like, if you said to this audience, should we ban the burqa? They go, oh, no. Ban a G-string? Oh, yeah. Can't have that. Can you have a G-string burqa? I don't know. I think they sell.
OK, well, Gary said he would not ban G-strings at public pools. What did our audience say? Oh, 77% said they would ban them. OK, Nikki, you're next. What are you going to pick?
I'm just going to bite the bullet and go sex.
Sex? Nikki, is it wrong to think of someone else when you're having sex with your partner?
Yes.
Well done, Nikki.
Have you ever done it?
Oh, shit! Wow.
You picked it. Answer.
I think I already did.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Are you like Gary? Is it George? Is that who you're thinking of? Oh. No, that's who you're
In a G-string.
In a G-string.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
The little Greek in the G-string.
My little fantasy, making a roast. I'll call you later.
Charlie, do you think it's wrong?
Yeah, I do.
Have you ever done it?
No, I've never done it.
Oh.
No?
You never thought about me, just to slow things down a bit?
Hey, that's a good idea.
Dicko, that would work. That really would. No more 12 times tables for me, Dicko.
Gary, have you ever thought, well, this is nice, but I do have a sponge in the oven. I better get things over with, so...
No.
You think it's wrong, do you?
No, yeah, I do, actually.
Yeah?
I said that with a straight face.
Does this mean, sorry, that women are less satisfied with their partners than men?
It's looking that way, isn't it?
I think it's because we're multitaskers.
Yeah. That's what it is.
You know?
That's what it is. It's either that or you're looking up and going, beige. I think I'll paint the ceiling beige.
Is it?
But I can be thinking about that. I can be doing what I'm doing and thinking of Hugh Jackman. I can do all of those things.
And we're just doing the 12 times table.
I know.
Is it wrong to think of yourself when you're having sex with your partner?
Depends.
Okay, well...
Depends. Are you alone?
So, Nikki said it is wrong. What did our audience say? How poetic, 69% of you.
Love that.
Charlie, what are you going to pick?
I'll take rules and regulations.
Rules and regulations.
Oh, that is so Charlie.
Have you ever flashed your lights to warn about a cop car?
No, but...
No!
Right, no. Do you know what I like to do? This is weird. I've never talked about this to anyone. I like to flash my lights when there's no cop car. All right? And I do this, and it's my theory. This is my bit to slow people down. If I flash enough people, I'm making the road safer.
Do you flash to warn about cops, Nikki?
Yes, I do.
Oh, there you go. I never have done. I thought people did it to me because they recognised me, but clearly I was... Yeah. Oh, there's a C-grade celebrity.
People were going, Dicko hasn't been on telly. Well, he couldn't afford a speeding fine.
OK, well, Charlie said he's never flashed his lights to warn about a cop. What did our audience say?
Yes.
Ah, they have. You're next, Gary. What are you going to pick?
Go kids. Let's see what that brings up.
This one's from Kimmy Ho via our website. Cheers, Kimmy. Should children under 10 be allowed mobile phones, Gary?
No.
Why not?
I just don't think it's necessary. It's another reason for what? Another reason to be bullied, another reason for some kids to have them and other kids not to, another reason that kids have got a better phone than you've got, all sorts of reasons.
What age are you going to allow your daughter a phone?
11.
I think at the point where I think that maybe she's becoming more independent, that maybe she needs one to call Dad to come and pick her up.
How about you, Charlie?
What are you doing having a 10-year-old in a situation that they might need to call their folks? Like, you're meant to be there. I'm going to be a weird, overprotective parent, but...
Absolutely right.
So,
but yeah, and more importantly, you're 10. Who are you going to call?
So you're saying no?
Yeah, I absolutely wouldn't, no.
Gary said no. Children under 10 should not be allowed mobile phones. What did our audience say? Oh, 74% said no. OK, Nikki.
I'm going to go relationships.
Relationships. This one's from Tanya Batten via Facebook. Would you give money for a colleague's birthday present if you didn't like them?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why?
Because that's just rude if you don't.
What about you, Charlie, when Hughesy's card comes round on his birthday?
What do you get the guy who has everything and talks about it?
Love that one. Round of applause for that one.
The thing is, I get very socially awkward, so I would never be confrontational enough to just go, oh, I don't like Janine from accounts. By the way, I hope Channel 10 doesn't have a Janine in accounts. That'd be terrible.
Well, Nikki said even if she didn't like them, she would chip in for a colleague's birthday. What did our audience say? Ooh.
What a tight-fisted bunch of people.
Yeah.
Half of you are.
OK, Charlie, one more for you. It's gender. Is it OK for boys to play with toy guns?
Wow.
Yeah.
I've never had to think about that.
That was for you.
Well,
just for you.
Yeah, I think it's OK.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You're not
think
worried
so.
they're going to grow up and get a bit weird?
No, I played with guns a lot when I was a kid, and I am yet to shoot anyone.
I think little boys just love that stuff so much. When my little brother was in about grade 3, the nun called my mum and said, you've got to come up to the school because he's brought a weapon to school. And when she got up there, he had made nunchucks out of a broom and a dog chain.
Yeah, but that is a weapon. That is a weapon.
I thought you were going to say he'd made nunchucks out of 2 nuns.
Well, Charlie said it's fine for boys to play with guns. What did our audience say?
Yeah.
Of course, it's Australia. We love the gun. OK, it's the moral minefield. Give me a round of applause.
Exciting. Our second worm is just around the corner. And I don't mind telling you, this next worm is of particular interest to a certain chubby blonde goddess who's cruising towards her cougar years. Please get involved. We're Can of Worms TV on Facebook and Twitter. And, of course, keep your eye out for the hashtag.
OK, question. Does your partner have a school uniform in the closet? Is it just for sexy time, or are they actually still at school? Age gap relationships next on Can of Worms.
When I was 17, I would have had sex with a 40-year-old sofa. Like, I was...
On brand new Your Gem, cop a load of the fancy dress special.
I just realised we're doing crime shows.
8:30 Wednesday.
Some will solve the clues, others not so much.
What's the name of this show and who's not there? The A-Team? No.
Plus an end game you have to see to believe.
Oh, God! Oh, God! Oh, I'm so sorry! Oh.
Brand new Your Gem, 8:30 Wednesday on 10.
Wow, when that comes out, put it under your pillow and the tooth fairy will give you $1 for it.
At MBF, we know the real value of your teeth, which is why we have gap-free dental for kids until they're 25. Just another good reason your family needs MBF.
We're here to see how people react when they try Colgate Sensitive Pro Relief. I want you to rub some of this toothpaste onto each sensitive tooth for 1 minute. Now drink this ice water.
Do I have to?
Go on, try it.
Feels good. Feels as if I could eat that ice.
I think that it's made a huge difference already. How does it work?
Well, it's the Pro-Argin formula that actually seals the open channels to the nerves. With daily brushing, you get lasting relief.
I have just solved my problem of sensitive teeth.
Colgate Sensitive Pro Relief. For instant and lasting relief. Prove it to yourself.
What's power to me? Staying connected. The main reason for me to be on Twitter is to, I guess, allow my fans or my followers to get a little bit closer to me. I was cutting onions and I couldn't stop crying. I sent a tweet to say, how can you cut onions and stop crying? There was a million ideas. Wear sunglasses, swimming goggles maybe. Cut off one of the ends, but there's I'm not sure which end it is. The most popular idea was put the onions in the fridge. That seems to help.
Connect on the new Vodafone network. Power to you. Vodafone.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? To prevent a no cold milk situation, please follow these important instructions. Be sure to keep a supply of Devondale milk in the pantry, and most importantly, keep one chilled in the fridge. So remember, let the fridge light guide you to delicious cold Devondale milk, and you'll never run out of milk again. Thank you for your attention.
Or is this more like it?
Fernword. Fun. Fab. And for a limited time, no joining fee. Save $199. Fernword. The key to feeling foxy.
At MBF, we have gap-free dental for kids until they're 25. Plus, join MBF Hospital and Extras cover now and we'll give you 1 month free. Call 131 623.
On July 11, Kmart invited 1,000 mums to a store with no price tags. This is what happened. It's got to be $39. $29. That's way too cheap. Oh, no. Way too cheap. When you realise just how dramatically low they've dropped their prices, gee, it feels good. So would you like irresistibly low prices on everything, every day?
Welcome back. Time for our second big worm. Now, it used to be only blokes who got about with blondes half their age. Now, with the rise of cougar culture, older women are getting in on the action as well. Now, the law says it's fine. Our sense of right and wrong might say otherwise. Have your yes, no's at the ready. It's legal for a 17-year-old to sleep with someone in their 40s, but is it okay? Yes or no? You got 5 seconds.
I can feel the eyes burning into me. Oh. Charlie says yes. Gary says yes. Nikki says no. Now, Gary, did you ever have a crush on a mate's mum or a teacher when you were younger? I think that every boy does.
Who was it for you?
I just remember doing a paper round and praying to God that some woman would come to the door in a negligee. And look at that weedy little 14-year-old boy and go, hmm.
When I was 17, I would have had sex with a 40-year-old sofa. Like, I was... I'm so full of hormones and raging. The weird thing, I've got to tell you, you know the fantasy you're talking about? I delivered pizzas. When I got to uni, I was like 18 and a half, 19. I delivered pizzas for a living. This is the porno occupation, right? And there was literally a night where I knocked on the door, stunning older woman answered the door and asked me to stay. But she did it on, like, the busiest night we'd ever had. I'm deadly serious. And I was going, I'd love to, but I got, like, 8 other pizzas to deliver.
How old were you?
I really can't. I was, like, 19 when that happened. If 33-year-old me could talk to 19-year-old me right now, he would say, leave the car, go. Like, just do it.
You can just imagine all these pizzas going cold. Yeah. And
that really hurts you, doesn't it?
And young Pickering doing his business.
Yep. With a range of interesting toppings.
Nikki, have you ever felt the spark of attraction for an older man?
I did date an older man. I mean, I was in a relationship with him. I was in my, 19, he was 40.
So you were 19. So you were 19, so almost in our zone. He was in his 40s. But where did you meet?
We met at an event. And
was the event your dad's birthday party?
What was the attraction?
I liked the fact that he was mature. I guess the way he treated me, so dining and things like that, appealed to me. But at the same time, I don't agree with it because you're kind of wasting your time a little bit. Like, there was so much more I still needed to do, like travel and live my life. I'm still young.
Yeah.
And he's wanting to sort of settle down and do things. I don't want to play bridge.
Gary, isn't there something fundamentally creepy about a young person dating someone old enough to be their mum or dad?
No one knows how long they're going to live. No one knows that. No.
This
So
was
get
somewhat
your
the
penis out and
argument I
have
was
fun.
expecting.
No one knows how long they're going to live. So if someone does genuinely fall in love with someone that is twice their age, what says that the 40-year-old will outlive the 17-year-old?
Charlie, when you see a couple like this with a big age difference, what goes through your mind?
When I first heard that Demi Moore and Ashton Kutcher were going out, I thought that's never going to work. And I have been proven wrong, all right? They seem to be getting along fine. I just think unless you're in the relationship, you don't know. It's funny, though, with that question, you know, is it legal for a 17-year-old to sleep with someone in their 40s? But is it OK? It gets creepy if you insert the word PE teacher or police officer or things like that. Or your daughter is 17. Is it OK if she sleeps with a 40-year-old? That's when people start to get uncomfortable.
Nikki, look, it is legal.
Yeah.
It's consensual. What's wrong with it?
Just my personal experience. I just feel like I wasted, you know, a good 2 years. Not wasted, he was a lovely guy. Sorry.
It's all right, he's dead now.
If you've got an older lover who's seen a bit of the world, he's got a great car, can afford to take you nice places, and he's got great experience, why wouldn't that be a good thing?
Just me personally, being 19 and dating a 40... was, you know...
40, come on. Spell the beans,
47.
47?
Yeah. Yes!
What did your parents say about it?
They weren't happy. They weren't happy.
There would have been a really awkward conversation when he came over to meet the parents.
Did he ever come over?
No, hell
Was he older than your father?
Yes.
He was older than your dad?
Wow!
I'd have a massive problem with that. A massive problem. Wow. Oh.
See? You had a problem.
Gary, let me bring it back to you. Are you for this or against it? Do you think it's OK or do you think it's wrong? Because I'm confused.
It's against my belief to be able to prevent that happening by law. Why would you do that? We make decisions all throughout our lives, and some are right, some are wrong, and some just make you who you are. They all make you who you are.
Why do you say yes?
Because I agree. I don't disagree. I think that is... Why would you stop that happening?
Yeah, but as experience...
That's OK.
I would recommend not to do it.
And I would do the same. I'd say, but is it OK? Yes, it's OK. But then I would qualify that.
Charlie's OK sounds more OK than you're OK.
We're saying, is it OK? Of course it's OK. You can't...
So you think... Let me ask you one more time before we go to the break. Do you think it's OK for someone in their 40s to shag someone who's 17?
I think...
Yes or no?
No, you can't say yes or no, because as a 40-year-old... you know a whole lot more about life than you do when you're 17. You're in a position of power, and then you're opening a whole world of other questions and problems. And at 17, at 19, when you went out with that 47-year-old, you were entirely manipulated, whether you knew it or not.
I'm confused.
This is going to get hot. Should we raise the age of consent? That's next on Can of Worms.
You can't make it illegal. You cannot say you cannot do this. And teenagers love you cannot do this.
Next on 10, new criminal intent.
Brand new Your 10 goes fancy dress in a Law and Daughter special.
I just realised we're doing crime shows. What?
8:30 Wednesday on 10. Sunday on 10. Don't miss a new Bondi double.
At 6:30, little hooligan is in distress. And it's up to Dr. Chris to save him.
This isn't an easy operation.
Then at 7 o'clock, in a new Bondi rescue, massive rips hit hard.
And casualties are on the rise.
The Big Bondi Double starts 6:30 Sunday on 10.
Now, Ashton and Demi have been hassling our switchboard since we asked, is it really OK for a 17-year-old to sleep with someone in their 40s? Charlie and Gary say yes, it's fine. Nikki says no. Now, Gary, you have a daughter. She's 10.
Yep.
In 7 years' time, if she walked through the door with her boyfriend in his 40s, would you still say it's OK?
Shit just got real, homeboy.
I would do everything in my power, probably much like your parents did, to talk about what was happening here. But you know, what am I going to do? But what if she's left home? What can I say? I mean,
would you hate it?
Of course I'd hate it. As a civil libertarian, of course it's okay. You can't make it illegal. You cannot say you cannot do this. And teenagers love you cannot do this.
Nikki, you say it's wrong. Would you raise the age of consent? Would you make that illegal?
I can't compete with the law. Yes.
You would?
Ooh, wow. And would that work, I wonder?
Charlie, do you think all age gaps in relationships are acceptable?
Yeah, I think it comes down to the relationship and the situation.
Take a look at Raymond Calvert, who is Britain's oldest father. He's 80 years old, and that's Charlotte, his adoring partner, who's 26. 54 years difference.
Wow.
What do you think when you see that, Charlie?
He's just got a pulse.
Sorry, I've got a voice in my head that goes, cash back. But
he's no millionaire, by the way.
I think that's brave. On both parts.
I think it's brave for him to even lift that child at his age.
The fact that he even had sperm that actually worked to produce that child is pretty damn impressive.
Or a very friendly milkman in the neighbourhood.
Yeah.
But do you know what? Everyone there looks happy.
If
Yeah.
it's baby.
But, well, happy now.
And everybody's willing to look at that picture and judge.
When you get into a relationship, it's real. There are problems all over the place.
Yeah.
You deal with all sorts of things in a relationship. They've got that palette of issues to choose from.
Well, let's leave old Ray, shall we, and move to our audience. Where's Holly?
Life is all about becoming a better person, and sometimes that might mean seeking out people that are better at something than you are. And I'm sure a 17-year-old would learn a lot from a 40-year-old, and perhaps a 40-year-old would gain some of the 17-year-old's enthusiasm and energy.
Yeah. You're assuming that they're going to teach you good habits.
Yeah.
I mean, my husband's in his 40s, and if a 17-year-old slept with him, she would learn to go very fast and then crave pizza.
Yeah.
Holly, what's your personal experience of age gaps in relationships?
Well, I've been both a sugar babe for older men and...
Sugar babe?
Sugar babe, yes, and I've actually hired toy boys. And
You've hired toy boys?
Yeah,
Where do you
absolutely.
hire them?
We need to swap seats.
And I found that whereas the older gentlemen, they knew their way around a wine menu and they were charming and good conversationalists, I found the younger men really only able to contribute energy and enthusiasm. So I must admit, in my personal experience, I found it was much easier to be with older people than it was to be with younger people.
OK, I'll ask it. Holly, who is better at sex, the young blokes or the old blokes?
Definitely the older blokes. They have a lot more than that.
There's something to be said for energy and enthusiasm, though. Let me say.
There's a nice little joke. There's a young bull and an old bull at the top of a hill. And the young bull says, let's run down the hill and shag one of those cows. And the old bull says, why don't we just saunter down and shag them all?
Where's Taylor? Hi, Taylor.
My mum's, she's in her 40s, and I actually found out that she had a sexual relationship with someone my age.
Get in there!
While initially I was really disgusted because it was my mum and like, oh, what are you doing with this guy my age? But after sitting down with her and talking through it, you know, I understood why it was, and I kind of feel like it's gender specific to me, like the age gap thing. I think an older woman in her sexual prime with a younger man in his sexual prime, I don't see that as a bad thing. It's power equal to me. But an older man with a younger woman is a power imbalance or something like that.
Are you telling me that you don't feel like that you're holding any sexual power at all?
Not really. I think young girls are quite naive when it comes to relationships and things like that.
It seems creepy when it's an older man. However, when it's a lady, it's sort of nice and, oh, she might make me a sandwich.
Thank you so much, and thank you to our fantastic audience. Again, you rock. Well, what did the country say, Meshel?
Full on, isn't it? Cougars, cubs, sugar daddies, gold diggers. It sounds like a spa party at Carl Sandilands' place. It's hectic up in here tonight. The Roy Morgan Polling Company found out what you really think about it all. OK, so it's legal for a 17-year-old to sleep with someone in their 40s, but is it OK? Oh, pick up someone your own age, please. 84% said no, with 3 out of 5 saying younger male, younger female, doesn't matter, it's still wrong. But take a look at this, and this is actually surprising. Men are twice as likely as women to think it's perfectly okay. Oh, wouldn't have picked that. More than half think the age of consent should stay the same, but a hefty 44% said it should be raised. Wow. 1% said it should be lowered. Then you know who you are. And finally, when asked if they'd be comfortable with their own child marrying someone 30 years their senior, 68% said no. Over a quarter said yes. I can only imagine the remaining 5% said, well, it depends. Is Hugh Hefner involved?
Coming up, which one of our guests will walk away with the priceless Voice of the People trophy? Plus, Danny Lick gets down and dirty with sexy septuagenarians. You're with Can of Worms.
Would you be interested in, having a relationship with a younger man?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Who would have thought behind Melbourne's catwalks comes a story of hope for the refugee community?
The Social Studio is a big family.
We are like brothers and sisters. We find out how the Social Studio uses fashion to empower young refugees tomorrow on 7 p.m.
Households in all sorts of places are celebrating another new idea from Optus. The Optus 3G Home Zone. It gives you up to 5 bars of mobile coverage in your home. 5 bars? Yes, it's possible.
What would you give for the ultimate 2011 Toyota AFL Grand Final experience?
Probably next week's dog check's not much, but it's all yours.
The Whopper Grand Final giveaway. Buy any Whopper value meal for your chance to win.
7:30 Tuesday on 10.
Now, I know it seems daunting, Nanny, but it's very simple. I'm securely hitched to a rope, which means I'm not going to fall.
Brand new Modern Family, 7:30 Tuesday on 10.
Coming up next.
A bizarre murder has Goran looking for one very unusual suspect.
So how did it play out?
New Criminal Intent. Next on 10.
This program brought to you by Hungry Jacks. Introducing Jacks Packs, our new meals to share.
We're talking age gaps in relationships. Australia thinks they're wrong, but a national poll isn't going to stop Danilik from trying to find the love with the older lady.
If it's okay for a 17-year-old to sleep with someone in their 40s, then it must be okay for a 29-year-old to sleep with someone in their 70s, right? Would you be interested in, having a relationship with a younger man?
No.
Oh, yes. Not really.
What about a 29-year-old? Would you have a relationship with a 29-year-old?
Wow. No, an older man, and he's only got 4 months to live and I'll get all this money.
What would entail the perfect date?
A nice quiet dinner and perhaps a little dancing.
Would you like to dance now? Have you heard of the term cougar? What would be an appropriate term for sexually active women in their 70s?
A word for them? Desperate. Hungry.
Now, I've written some pick-up lines for older ladies. I'd like to run them by you. Do you believe in love at short sight?
Well, I do wear glasses.
You're probably wondering 2 things. What's a guy like me doing in a place like this? And when is the meat raffle?
Meat raffle is every day.
Would you have sex on the first date?
Oh, definitely not.
Definitely not?
Ooh, you make me hot.
Would you girls consider yourselves gilfs?
What?
Gilfs.
What's guilt?
Gilfs, it's a grandma I'd like to
The nation's favourite toy boy, Danilik there. He will find love one day, don't worry. Now, Meshel, you've been channeling the audience this week, have you not?
Yep, I've got some suggestions from Facebook. This one's from Jake Casanova. Hi, Jake. I'm just going to read it how he wrote it. OK, hey, LOL. No one will give me a job because I have piercings. I think it's bullshit. Should this be allowed? It's my face. I think there are jobs for Jake out there in the world? Magnet tester? Disco ball? Human sieve? George Lee asked this question on Facebook as well. Does being physically attractive make up for the lack of a brain in a relationship? Yes! We are Can of Worms TV on Twitter and Facebook and canofworms.com.au. And remember our Friday night replay right here on Network 10.
Yeah, keep them coming. We love them. Now, we've learnt an awful lot about you three tonight, but what have you learnt, Charlie?
Well, tonight I think Dan Neelick taught me that if you want to pick up an older lady, go where the pokies are.
Nick?
Well, I learned that Charlie had no pubes at a young age and that Gary is a pervert.
I'm offended by that.
You want to work up a little prop for the television station, Master Perv.
I wonder what little prop you were talking about.
What have you learned, Gary?
It's going to be much more serious. I'm absolutely gobsmacked by the conversations we had around bullying, and I think it is such a complex subject. An amazing thing.
Hear, hear. Now, it's time to announce the winner of our Voice of the People Award. While you were out in the last break, we polled our studio audience to find out which of you speaks with their morals.
I hope it's not the old pervert in the corner.
With an approval rating of well past 52%, it is, for MasterChef, the old pervert, Gary Mehigan. Thank you. Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
Go the perv.
That brings us to the end of the show. Please thank Gary, Nikki and Charlie. The fantastic Meshel, Laurie. Australia, we really do need to talk, and next week there'll be fire and brimstone as we discuss kids and God. Until then, you've been watching Can of Worms. I'm Dicko. Good night.
If you're being bullied, contact Reach Out at www.reachout.com.